10 seconds remaining.
G'day and welcome to game 3 of this best of 5 between Outsiders and BetBoomTeam. Now, surprise, surprise, and I'm not being sarcastic, we are actually surprised by this. Outsiders are down 0-2. Outsiders are down 0-2 in the first 2 games. I think everyone expected perhaps Outsiders to just clean 3-0 this series with their form coming in. But unfortunately for them, they are in a spot of bother. First bans, Chen and Enigma taken out. Outsiders have decided no more Enigma. We're not having that hero come in anymore. Thank you very much. BetBoom, get rid of the Lina. They've just been persistent on banning the Lina and the Marcy. They've identified, BetBoom, that Outsiders, the Lina and the Marcy are the 2 heroes that they really leverage. And without those 2 heroes, they seem to be somewhat lackluster. So BetBoom have done their homework on the initial bans they should be using against Outsiders and have held to their guns against them. First picks, it's once again a first pick Undying.
Radiant team back.
Hopefully this game we can see the potential of that Oz 5 Undying and maybe get a little bit more farm priority so you can get some items and stand firm in a couple of these fights. Maybe you can get a BKB himself. BetBoom respond with the Death Prophet and the Beastmaster. So once again the Death Prophet coming out in this game. Beastmaster snagged. Outsiders had that last game. It has been a high priority ban in many of the series in this qualifier. Beastmaster with the vision advantage you get from the Hawk means getting a gem is pretty much compulsory for the opposition team to try and make sure those Hawks just aren't scouting you out all around the map. And in return, Outsiders just grab the Bat. So Bat and Beast, very, very similar heroes. I think I talked about in the previous draft because they're both banned, but in this time they're both being picked, or one was picked last time. In the Beast and Bat both have a really strong single target lockdown. Okay, not necessarily high damage, but high amount of lockdown. They both have an ability to get vision on the map through Sticky Napalm and the Firefly, or through the Hawk vision and just generally having the creeps on the map, providing some extra vision. So they both somewhat rely on their team to link up with them to get work done. You know, we're no longer in the times of the Necro Book, where the Beastmaster can just solo pick people around the map with those Necro Books. They are gone from Dota. So Beastmaster really is a more of a team-orientated pick. When we think about our second round bans here now, Quap and the Venge being banned out. Venge was very strong from BetBoom in the first game, and once again banned by Outsiders here, not allowing that to come through. Seneko was an absolute god on the Vengeful Spirit. BetBoom banned the Terrorblade. So giving respect to Ramses after that Game 2 Terrorblade, he was pretty much top net worth. He was full of farm and making an impact, but it just wasn't enough. I think the rest of the team was the issue there, and BetBoom have identified that. The Terrorblade, we don't want to be facing that again. It was a little too close for comfort when they all died in front of Outsiders base. The Terrorblade will be taken from the draft. Sniper, removing their own pick from the last game. So Sniper's a reasonable mid laner, and thinking that that indicates to me that Death Prophet is probably going to be the mid lane. Seeing that we see Beastmaster here as well, I mean, it's flexible. They could just run the Death Prophet as Seneko 5 once again. I mean, no reason not to. The amount of work that 5 Seneko Death Prophet got done, that was incredible. So it could just be the 5 Death Prophet, but the fact that they ban out the Sniper means to me that they're either thinking of putting the Death Prophet mid because Sniper does match quite well against Death Prophet, or they're thinking of picking a mid hero that is a little... They could get bullied by a Sniper. So maybe a melee mid. You know, our Spirit Brothers haven't been seen in a while. Storm or Ember, Void Spirit in that mid lane. All potential picks here when you're banning out a Sniper. The take aim plus headshot is just really, really hard to deal with as a melee core on the mid lane. You know, you're there by yourself and you can't get on top of the sniper to deal any damage in return. Of course, let's talk about while we're thinking about these last bit of bans here. Ursa banned out, final ban coming from BetBoomTeam. The consequences of this game. So let's say BetBoomTeam does win this series, whether this game or next game. They are sitting at match point at the moment. That will secure them a spot in the TI group stage. But there are still last chance qualifiers. So outsiders, win or lose, or if they lose here, would be going to last chance qualifiers plus Na'Vi, because Na'Vi made it to that lower bracket final, so they are going to the last chance qualifiers as well. So all three teams will be progressing in one way or another. Just one team will skip over that last chance qualifier and qualify directly to TI. Those are the consequences of this match. Long think about that ban from BetBoom, and they get rid of the DK. Smart move. I think the DK Skywrath Mage is a really, really popular and strong combo at the moment, and you don't really want to ban Skywrath. Let's be honest. Skywrath is not the hero you want to get rid of. If you ban the DK, then they're not going to pick Skywrath anyway. So by banning the DK, you sort of get two birds with one stone there. And Void. This crafty little Faceless Void has made it through. We think about damage inside the Chrono at the moment. I mean, there's Axes plus Exorcism and Crypt Swarm. So not a lot, but still 2 picks to remain. Outsiders just snap pick in return. Shadow Shaman and Lycan. So Shadow Shaman, strong disable. Very good at getting someone like a Faceless Void who doesn't have a large HP pool. But Faceless Void with the backtrack damage from the Time Walk, you know, you can tank a bit of damage and get rid of it. But if you get full locked from full to nothing, you actually, as an Agi hero, don't have that much HP to begin with until you start getting some more items online. So Shadow Shaman is one of those decent picks against a Faceless Void, or really Shadow Shaman or Lion, someone with that strong disable, 2 levels of disable, and just remove Faceless Void from the fight with some burst. And you combine that with a Batrider, you know, there's a lot of control here. The Lycan is the pick that comes out, so this is going to have to be where a lot of the damage is coming from. Lycan is very cooldown dependent. I'm looking at the heroes of Outsiders right now, and I see Mass Serpent Wards, I see Lasso, Tombstone, and Shapeshift. All abilities that you can't exactly move quickly with, and you just cannot move with Lycan when he doesn't have Shapeshift. It is a hero that purely, it's not, you know, just doesn't function without the Shapeshift. Particularly when normally it's no boot, so you're running around at something like 300 movement speed. Sure, you have some creeps to do some scouting, but it's just very hard to do anything when that Shapeshift cooldown has been expended. BetBoom go in with the Enchantress. So Chen was the first ban from Outsiders, but the Enchantress did slip through. And the thing about the Enchantress here is applies that early lane pressure, lane dominance, but does output a lot of damage mid to late game with the impetus hits inside of Chrono. So when we think about Enchantress, we're thinking about the Chronosphere and the damage that this hero can actually output to anyone stuck inside. Wyvern and Skywrath Mage will be banned. Yeah, Skywrath Mage, good ban here since the Void is already picked, so could just double down on that damage. Luna and TA taken out. A little bit worried about Outsiders draft and what it is that they are potentially going to tie it all together with here. I mean, let's assume GPK is playing the Batrider. We've got the 5 on the Undying, 4 on the Shaman. This Lycan, are we going to see this offlane? That's where I think DM's probably going to take this Lycan offlane, and we're seeing a Ramses last pick here. Unless they sort of go all in and put Ramses on this Lycan and look for a more tempo pick from the offlane. No, so it is the Ramses PA with a Lycan from the offlane. Oh, how are they going to slow this push down? with the Enchantress creeps, with the Beastmaster aura, with his own creeps, with Death Prophet Exorcism, with the mass damage coming out in the chrono from Zeus, Death Prophet, the Enchantress, not to mention Dahak himself on the Faceless Void. Outsiders are gonna have to pull a rabbit out of the hat here and show us some real good team coordination and work around timings, particularly with these ultis around Lycan. If they don't get enough from a Lycan ulti, then BetBoom just march at towers. And with Beastmaster and Enchantress, what are Outsiders to do? Their towers are just going to fall. I'd love to see Outsiders pull this one out of the bag, but is Ramsey's going to go for a fighting build here? Is this a Deso first, Phantom Assassin, like Deso BKB, and not go for the farming build? Is this what we're going to see from the PA? Maybe that's a way that this draft can be tied together with the Deso first. I think if he goes for a farming item like a Battle Fury, the timing is just going to be a little too late for him to have an impact in this game. The issue with going Deso first is there is a Zeus. So if you don't get a BKB in reasonable timing, this Ramsey's PA, low HP pool, sure, you can crit people if you get on top of them, but you will die really, really quickly. Talked about the lockdown of Outsiders. Let's just talk about the lockdown of BetBoom. They have a Beastmaster and a Void. It's a big ultis to do some big lockdown. Apart from that, more just aura-based push. But if you bring the aura-based push and back it up with the big ultis, I'm not sure how Outsiders gets in on the team of BetBoom. So, if you're just joining, this is Game 3 between Outsiders and BetBoom. TI11 Eastern European GrandFinal Qualifiers. GrandFinal Qualifiers. That was clear. And BetBoom are 2-0 up against Outsiders. The clear favorites to take this qualifier slot. And if you're in the Outsider camp, if you're an Outsider supporter, you're gonna have to dig deep here and send the positivity their way. They're going to need it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Just a little bit of tip war to begin with. But both teams will move out under the cover of a 5-man smoke. Just try and get that vision down early. So Woods, Sentry, and Obs over on Roger. GPK has a Obs as well, who chucked down on this mid lane. It looks like Lal is trying to scoot around a little bit more. Doesn't get scouted just yet. But the wolf will get hit, so you do know that there's vision in the area. Secondary ward will be put down here by Ramses. So two quite defensive wards for the side of Outsiders. BetBoom. Last ward being carried top by Dahak. Oh. Sentry. Actually, they see it. Good pick. So they know they've plopped the sentry down, and they'll just deny it immediately. So straight deny coming out, making sure that there's no extra gold for that ward. Their secondary ward for BetBoom will come down on the lane, potentially sniping some couriers. Maybe they want to go for a couple of dives behind the tower. Outsiders, will they get 2 runes this game? They haven't managed to secure 2 runes yet. DM will try and go in with the wolves, but in the bottom lane won't get a lot done. So top lane, top river. Notice will take a bit of damage from Zakota with the decay first, undying. He'll make his way away. So in the mid lane, Lal on the Zeus will be laning up against GPK on his Bat Rider. Pretty good matchup for a Bat. In the top lane, we'll be seeing DM on the Lycan, being supported by Yamich, playing the Shadow Shaman. They'll be laning against Roger on the Enchantress and Dahak on the Faceless Void position 1. Safe lane for Outsiders has Ramses on the PA, Zakota on the Undying, playing against Seneko, once again on this support DP, and Noticed playing the 3 Beastmaster. Not sure why they don't just turn around and hit. I guess he wants to try and get the creep wave here. So Zakota, knowing that he wants to pull this creep wave through, just abusing the fact that he can get a little bit of extra damage on a Noticed here. So creep wave will pull it up the high ground. Yeah, he will get it. Link it behind the tower. We'll get some XP back here. He's got to link it up. Will he actually get his own creep wave? Get just the range creep, so he might actually be interesting where these creeps actually go. In a moment, they'll come back underneath the tower, so not really what he wanted. In the top lane, Yamich with his decent base damage will be able to harass fairly quickly. Oh, and Beastmaster's just dying underneath the tower. And I guess PA came up and threw a dagger and a Phantom Strike. My apologies. The Snako getting off the Spirit Siphon. It's the one charge at the moment over on Zakota. We just keep bullying this bottom lane. Has 4 mangoes in the tank, so knows that he can keep popping these decays out, but slowly the damage is stacking up. Another Crypt Swarm. Keep dealing the damage. Top lane, not really happening there at the moment. Zeus, 16 last hits, is doing quite well. They're going on Seneko. There's a Spirit Siphon. Healing up slightly, and Ramses doesn't get a second kill on this bottom lane. Dakota is out of mangoes. Wonder if a little bit more... Yeah, more mangoes coming, actually. It's just all mangoes. Keep going. In comes Ramses with the dagger, and that'll be a kill. So Seneko just stepping forward a little too much in this top lane. Time dilation was used over onto DM and Yamich. Not in a kill attempt at this point. So Lyle has 17 last hits, leading the Bat Rider 13 at this point. You'd expect Zeus to farm reasonably well in this situation. They're going to try and get the kill here on Yamich. He's walked over to the wrong side of the map. There is a time dilation in 3. They're walking a long way away from lane. Can he get the bounty rune? He's gonna deny it, actually. Yamich with the value, and actually, will he deny it as neutral creeps? No, not quite. But look, that whole time, DM's just sitting on the lane. I mean, that's the definition of space. If you got the neutral creep denied, then that would have been a disaster for BetBoom. But all the same, still does draw away the 2 heroes from the lane for quite a while. Dagger in with the Blink Strike. Tombstone drop down. I think they have enough. Ramses, he's getting off to a good start this game. Outsiders feeling much better about the early game this time than the other 2. Few kills, good lasting on the lanes. Lycan should be able to sustain with his 2 levels in the Feral Impulse. Very similar to the DK with the Dragon. Blood being able to sustain on the lane with that bonus HP regen. Runes will be collected by the sides of Outsiders, so Lal won't get a refill on his bottle. With the 2 points in Heavily Jump, he probably can play pretty fearlessly against GPK on this bat, knowing that he can jump away if the Firefly comes out, or if he gets knocked back. We're once again behind the tower. Zakota. Very deep. But knows that he can be here at the moment, keeping those decay stacks up. We'll grab the creep wave, pull it with him. Roger's actually sort of just doing a little bit of farming by himself while Dahak's under the tower, so reasonably safe here. They know that Lycan level 4 doesn't offer really a lot in terms of damage. And he's not going to get on top of the face of the void and kill him any real way here. Ramses, though, is level 5. With the Ring of Health moving quickly towards a Battle Fury. DM's going to go down. The impetus hits at the top lane is just too much. That level 1 impetus, yeah. The Huck gets a bash, and I mean, the sustain wasn't enough from this Lycan. Dakota continuing to zone out this Beastmaster as best as possible. Just body blocking him. TP's coming in from Yamich. They see Seneko, but won't get anything done with that. And they see the TP from Yamich, so They'll know to back up a little bit more in the lane, knowing that DM is now solo top. You might be able to pressure him a little bit more, or even rotate mid and put a little bit of pressure on this Bat Rider. Always can be a little bit risky. Trying to gank a Bat can backfire on you quite quickly. But yeah, they saw him on the ward, and there's no action on this bottom lane at the moment. Certainly nothing happening here. Rune will spawn on the top side, so Lyle picking that one up for BetBoom. It's an Arcane Rune for a Zeus as well. Doesn't get much better. DM, I get the feeling the pain train's coming. Roger, he's in the fog. He's going to send in the creep. He wants to chuck him back. The Hurricane.
Radiant's top tower is
They're
under
diving.
attack.
If they can get in here, DM will just be able to get out fast enough and not be caught by that Hurricane. Tombstone will be dropped on the bottom lane just to try and push this tower. Yeah, really trying to exploit the early levels, early damage that this Undying can do, but
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
he'll just go down. Will be denied, so no gold, but that's your
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
85-second cooldown ability gone to a free right clicks. It certainly doesn't feel very good. Tower does look like it's full though. Zeus coming in to rotate. They want to try and get a bit of action here,
Dire's middle tower is
but
under
Ramses is too quick to blink out. Yamich running through. They see him underneath the tower. Roger escapes to
Dire's structures
the river.
are fortified.
And we'll head up. So, for sure, Ramses is having a good start this game. Having a nice start to this game, getting some good last hits, good kills. However, there's a Faceless Void who's also having a good start to his game. If we just switch over to net worth now, I think we'll see that Faceless Void only 500 gold behind PA with all the kills that he's had. And realistically, I think I'd rather have a Faceless Void equal farmed than a PA equal farmed. Particularly with this draft that they have. Not necessarily in all situations, but with this draft, you know, if the Void can maintain farm with the PA, and even maybe at some point get ahead, then they're really going to struggle in team fights, outsiders. Beastmaster, bottom of the net worth for the cause, has really struggled against this Undying.
Radiant's top
Hopefully he
tower
does
is
get
being denied.
some priority. He's just in the jungle at the moment. I think maybe they might have given him a lane just to give him a few more levels, but being a little bit sacked by BetBoom at the moment. Notice saying, well, you're just going to have to deal with what you have. We sort of want to give priority to other heroes as well. Particularly this mid Zeus who wants to just keep getting more and more farm, getting into the Kaya, plus that Aghanim Scepter. The Nimbus can do a lot of work this game, chucked on top of a Chronosphere, and that's just free damage. There is an ancient stack here. Notice we'll try and stack it again. Don't get caught yourself. Those ancient creeps
Radiant's middle tower is
will
under
do a
attack.
number on you. So ancients. Oh, actually no, that last one didn't come. That little ancient Rumblehide just wasn't interested in stacking. I know we've all been there. At Rumblehide, and it's normally the Rumblehide as well that just doesn't want to come. Random segments of code, you know? iRobot flashbacks right there. Snako this game hasn't had such a good start on this support Death Prophet. Has got the wand and the boots, but nowhere near the levels that he had in that last game. There is a dive on top. In comes the lasso onto Faceless Void, but he just drops the chrono. You gotta be careful of the fire though. Zeus is here, has the damage. We'll actually keep chasing over onto Huck. Tombstone has been dropped down and the immediate TP out, but I don't think it's be fast enough. With the Soul Rip, it will go down, and the Hadouken up in the trees will finish off the Death Prophet. Lyle with his Heavenly Jump will make his way out, and BetBoom just misreading that situation a little bit. Thought potentially they could turn around, but remember that Firefly was on the ground the whole time, and Void I think took a little more damage than what he was bargaining for. He was trying to get some poke in with that chrono. Zeus held on to the Thunder God's Wrath. Didn't have enough damage yet. Has to jump. It's a haste rune on GPK. He's in on top of Lyle. In comes the TPs. And GPK actually got to be careful because Thunder God's Wrath available. We'll just force the rotations and make his way out. Often a really good play. if you get that haste rune, force a couple of TPs, get some more advantage around the map, because if the Enchantress TP'd in there now you can't TP elsewhere for support. Gives more space for your cores to farm, and really channels them into one side of the map. Now you know that this Roger Enchantress is stuck on this top lane with no TP, at least no TP cooldown as well for a while, and can play safely knowing that they're not going to have an impact somewhere on the map. I'm guessing Snako took the book to get up to level 5, seeing I saw him as level 3 last time. Two-man smoke coming out. What they're trying to catch here at the moment. Actually, over to the side. Ramses goes in. It could be an expert bait from Notice. He has the Roar. Turns around. Will pop it. Zeus has turned up. Has the Thunder Gods. Silence comes out on the 2. And it's actually GPK that's an issue as well. Time dilation and the zaps in the trees. This time, it's Outsider's turn to get a little baited on the side lane by core of BetBoom. And as they're all here, Inner Beast level 1, they might think about hitting this tower with the catapult, but we'll think better of it with so many resources being expended. Dahak has the Maelstrom, so his farming item is online. Whereas the PA still hasn't got it. Okay. Very close to getting that Battle Fury. But one farming item ready. Other one not quite yet. Of course, PA does have more net worth total. And will farm faster with the Battle Fury once she gets it. But for the time being, Void will catch up just a little bit. DP's to the bottom lane. Sineko won't get out. The Hex will come through. And the Shackles. With the Firefly on top. A little bit more sticky napalm. Throw out the flame break. And Sineko will go down. Sineko's been the bane of Outsiders so far this series, you know. Been really, really strong. Jumps forward. Dakota's waiting in the wings. With the damage, they actually see Nose. Hex comes out, but it's immediate back away. Pig. That's a pig pole? It's a goat pole. That's not a pig pole, that's a goat pole. I didn't know there was custom cosmetics for pig pole. I guess if you're Shadow Shaman, it turns you into a goat instead of a pig. Who knew? Well, the more you know. They do see the Batrider TP out under the vision of the bird, so they know that there's probably no contest in this lane. It'll be a free tier 1 push. They'll clear out the creep waves. The Skellies are here. Watch these, please. Put the Skellies under the tower. Let's go. Come on, Skellies. Hit the tower. We know you want to see it. There they are. Look at them go. Look at the lads. This is me and the lads going out. Me and the boys turned up, but all the while, the boys are having fun. But Outsiders, they've gone for a bigger boy into the Roche Pit. Damage amp coming in from Dakota. They have the Unholy Aura and the Vladimir's ready, but there's a big Chrono on 3. There's an Exorcism right next to it. Zeus is dealing the damage. A Swallow Silence on the 2, and it's a disaster in the pit. DM, I don't think he's going to make it away. Maybe on a slither of health. I think they should just go back into the pit and finish it themselves. Yeah, Dahak coming back in. Sineko still with a little bit, quarter of time on Exorcism. Outsiders, they thought they were making a sneaky little move, but it just wasn't good enough. Wasn't quite fast enough, and Dahak will get the Aegis. Huge damage coming out. Excellent teamfight. This is the Wombo combo that BetBoom are bringing to this game. And that was not even really with all their damage online. You know, Void doesn't really have a lot of damage yet. Zeus yet to get the Ags. Trying to get the Shard next. So this is prior to all the damage that BetBoom can bring to the table. That was a level 1 Exo, and that can scale quite well. Only a level 1 Crypt Swarm as well. Yeah, this is scary for Outsiders. And this Lycan timing, you know, it's not really doing a whole lot. Death Prophet will go down in the jungle. The little kill there for Ramses, trying to accelerate once he has this Battle Fury. He's going to go for a BKB next. I want to draw attention again to this Lycan with this 125-second level 1 ulti. The cooldown is really, really long. It's hard to play around this. You know, playing around Tombstone, you're playing around like an ulti. They might actually find DM, although the collapse is coming. It's a collapse on a collapse. Zeus is here as well. With the haste rune, he's running through quickly. DM will go down. Roger with the impetus hits. Oh no, Zakoda doesn't quite get slowed by the heavenly jump, but there's a lot of damage coming from Zeus. It's now oh, thank you. Oh, why, thank you. Hey, we get the deny. GPK doesn't go for the deny. Thinks better of being a little bit too close. Bottom lane. Ramses has been spotted. The roar comes out. Lal coming in with the damage of Thunder Gods. It's too much. With the Kaya on top of that additional 8% spell amp. Level 2 Thunder Gods with the maxed out Lightning Bolt now. So much damage. GPK has been spotted. Dahak's here. Blink Dagger in 3. I think he will make it out. With no chrono, well, at least no mana for the chrono available. They're tracking him on the side. Roger sees him. There is the lasso. Exorcism is popped. And GPK will go down. I mean, trading for the Enchantress. That's... Let me just press that button and make it happen every single time. You know...
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I don't think they have any issue with making that trade. You know, Roger playing that Enchantress. There was a button on his keyboard that he could press and just say, trade my life for the opposition mid. I think he'd just be slamming that keyboard so hard it would be breaking 10 times over. So he's happy with that trade all the way to the bank. Ramses has come top to try and farm. This isn't the place to be. There's a chrono. No, they know he's around. They found Zakoda. Blink out from Ramses, so Zakoda will tank the gank effectively. They thought that PA was in the area. They were right. They didn't quite see him blink back stealthily under the cover of blur. Back down to Yamich. And get out. The GPK, thinking about what items he's moving towards. He wants a BKB next to be able to stand in the fights. Ramses actually switched up. He's decided... He doesn't need a BKB. He thinks he's going to die either way. He's going to get bursted, so he wants to have the damage. But he's instead going for the Desolator. He thinks, if I get to hit someone, I want to kill him. That's the thinking, which is fair enough, because I think even with a BKB, if he just gets you know, roared or chronoed, he dies. Yeah. So going in for the damage, he wants to deal it. There's a haste rune. X comes out. Thunder God's Wrath and Ramses. Oh, he didn't exist. Zakoda, the impetus hits are too much. Oh, BetBoom, they're just running down. Running over. Outsiders right now in this game 3. Outsiders, they are walking on thin ice right now in terms of their direct qualification to TI. BetBoom have come through the lower bracket. The Huck. Sand. What's he going to go for here, actually? Is that just an SMY? Or is he going for the halberd? He's going to grab the halberd. Okay. The halberd for Dahak, thinking about halberding that PA. Wants to be a little bit more utility. You know what? This is really smart playmaking. Bottom lane, let's just have a look at this before we think about the playmaking of Dahak. Now comes the lasso. Damage coming up. Seneko, but turns around with the silence and the exorcism. And lol! The hunted becomes the huntee. Ramses, that's a chronosphere and you're just dead. Axis comes in to get the last hit. DM, good ulti as you run away with the tail between your legs. Scared little wolf. You can't commit into the fight at all. DM probably needs his own BKB. He wants to do anything. No, he's thinking about the AC. But the push of BetBoom are coming. Exorcism will expire. They do have a set of drums. 17 seconds. Glyph will be forced, and that might just be enough. Yeah, they're happy with that. Force the glyph and move back. Get some resources, you know, force it out, and they'll move back to their side and keep farming up the jungle on the way through. If DM, I think, wants to do anything but just ult and run away, probably needs a BKB to try and do something. They're hunting more. They see GPK. The Bashlord here wants to maybe go in. Dahak, let's go back to talk about this halberd. He recognizes that the damage coming out in the Chrono is excessive. The Enchantress, the Beastmaster, the Zeus, even the Exorcism, the Death Prophet. There is so much damage coming out in the Chrono that he doesn't actually need to get more damage right now. The only thing he needs to do is mitigate the damage from the top net worth of the opposition. And if he can do that, then his team will do the rest. Get a halberd, stop PA from having any impact in these fights, and your job here is done. Just make sure you get the Chrono on 2 or 3 heroes, and they will die. Yeah, they will die. Bear in mind, ghosts are physical damage. Coming through. Will they get here just in time? Notice? No. TPs will come out. So, the ghosts, they are physical. They pierce magic immunity. So, even if you get that BKB off inside the Chronosphere, Exorcism will still do the necessary job. Particularly once he gets to level 2. Those spirits double. Rip Creep. Shard on Seneko. Very useful with fearing as well. And it's the same issue they had last game. Like, you've got this support Death Prophet that you really have to deal with. Once he gets these level 2 ghosts, you can't ignore him. You can't ignore this Exorcism. Otherwise, he'll just kill your whole team. But what do? You can't ignore him, but you can't dump spells on him either. What happens if you dump a lasso? Bottom lane, Roger will actually go down to Ramses, but the damage is here. There's so much coming through. Turnaround Hex with the Mass Serpent Words. There is a tombstone down the middle of the fight. They're just farming up the wards at the moment. DPK goes back in to try and get the kill. Lal will die to the tick of Chrono. Oh no, Ramses being caught as well. I mean, it wasn't too bad for Outsiders until PA gets caught in the last part of that fight. They get somewhat of a trade, Outsiders. I mean, it's better than what they've been having, so maybe you can get some sort of turnaround, but at the same time, Void is just getting larger and larger. PA doesn't yet have the Deso, so even with going... I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's got Deso queued up, he's got Basher queued up, he's got BKB queued up. I think it's the Deso next, since he's already committed 3/4 of the way to it. Yet to see the impact of this Lycan in the fights. And same with this Undying. At the moment, on the map, it feels like Outsiders have a couple of dead heroes. You know, with Lycan unable to get into the fight for fear of just being bursted. You know, he's getting some physical damage resistance through the AC, but it's a lot of magical that's coming out, and pure. Dakota gets down a tombstone that just gets farmed. Shadow Shaman, same thing. Mass Serpent Wards go down, but they just become a source of gold for the side of BetBoomTeam. At the moment, it sort of feels like it's PA and Batrider against the world. And 2v5 Dota doesn't feel very good. Roshan spawning in just over a minute. Roger with the Dragonlance wants to keep building into this physical damage build, able to pump it out. But here it is now. Gets the mobility, or not mobility, the utility in the Heaven's Halberd, and goes back for the damage. Going in for the MKB. He's going to have enough to kill PA. There's no way he's going to survive, even with the maxed out blur. AC is complete for DM. I mean, it's something. He has the item he's been working towards. Maybe they can make some sort of movement with it. But the thing about auras, they have all the auras on BetBoom. Out comes the smoke. One board didn't quite make it in, but he dies off anyway, so they're quite happy with that.
Radiant are scanning.
Not going to show on the lane. They might actually catch Ramses. They see where he is. The blink comes out. It's a long-range impetus hit. He deals 1/4 of his HP. You got to watch out for this Enchantress. Compare the pair. Enchantress, Undying. One is doing a lot more than the other at the moment. Little friends. I'm yet to see this really in action a lot, but grabbing all the neutral, I guess, against a Lycan, you can just take his own wolves. Is that... You're just going to take all his own creeps? I think this is just a direct counter to the Lycan. Here comes the ultimate. Gets the vision. Undying. He's silenced and already dead. Has a buyback. Might have to use it. He will. Lycan ulti coming through. There's a lasso. Over onto the Faceless Void, but he does get off the Time Walk, gonna be fine. Drops a Kono right on top of him. Lala's on the outside, pumping out the damage. Zeus is there, and it's 4-5 dead with the buyback of Undying. It's GG! That's it. 25 minutes in. 3-0. BetBoom team win the TI11 Eastern European Regional Qualifiers, and they are going directly into TI. Outsiders, Na'Vi. We'll see you in the Last Chance Qualifiers.